Rachel and I am SewRayMe, and you can usually find me on Instagram as @SewRayMe. You can also find my Etsy shop on Etsy where I am SewRayMe UK, all one word. It's been quite a while since I have last done this. It's been a very hectic and busy couple of months. We've had lots of family illness. I've been ill, I had the flu, which completely floored me for a good few weeks, which was very strange because I was so ill that I literally just had to do nothing, which I find very hard, and I know a lot of you crafters will be the same. You rarely sit and do nothing, you always sit and doing something, so that was really weird. I just had to stop and do nothing and rest, which was really boring. I'm finally better, but I've had a tickly cough left over from it ever since, and this was beginning in February, so I may just be coughing in the video a little bit, so apologies if that's going to be annoying. I haven't been crafting a lot because when I was ill my eyes were really sore, so it was just too sore to focus on doing anything. So when I say I did nothing, I really mean I did nothing. So I have got a couple of finished items to show you, and again with this video, vlog, podcast, I don't really know what to call it. I've been filming lots throughout the month, and I'm going to just insert bits of video here and there, and I've been doing some other crafting and making stuff, so I've managed to film bits and pieces of me doing that as well, so I'll insert them where appropriate. I only have one of my finished objects really to show you, and the others, well no, I do have some to show you actually, but I've got some footage of me making some of them. So my first finished object, if you remember, I was making some stripy pink socks. Finally got them finished. So here they are. I just got to weave in the ends. They have been blocked, but they are a little bit baggy, so I think I'm definitely getting looser as I knit, and that seems to be coming more so when I do the two at a time. I don't know why, maybe I'm less tense or more relaxed or something. I have no idea why it's gone so loose, but it's not a bad thing because a lot of the socks I've made previously have ended up a bit tight because I've been putting them in the washing machine as well. So I went up a needle size, so I used 2.5, and I've also started to be very good at hand washing my socks now. I'm not putting them in the washing machine because I feel like I've ruined quite a few pairs now. They've gone so tight and probably felted a bit. sorry, I'm not actually showing you the socks. So these were 2 at a time toe up. I did start off by doing a bit of a slip stitch pattern when the cream changed to the pink, and then I got to the heel, which I was really concentrating on, and then I forgot to continue the pattern, and then I thought, I've missed it out now, I'll just not bother for the rest of this sock. But because I did them 2 at a time, at least they're both the same. At least they're both consistently messed up. So the pattern's just on the foot. But I still like these, and he turned out nice, and I love pink. I did, well, what did I do? Just a regular cast on. I use a tutorial on YouTube by Braid and Tinker or something like that. Tinker and Braid? I forgot what it is now. I'll tag it below. And I just find that I need to remind myself which needle goes on top and where the yarn goes, but I'm getting the hang of the 2 at a time cast on now, and then knitted up to the heel. And I do like a slip stitch heel because it obviously is a lot stronger and reinforced. So doing this on a toe up sock, I had to buy a pattern by Sockmatician. It's called Sockmatician's I've forgotten now, toe up sock or heel, strengthened heel or something. I'll put it below. So yeah, I was really concentrating with that one because I've only done that once before, so that, I think that's why it took my mind off doing the pattern here, because I was really concentrating on the heel. And then up to the cuff, and for the cuff I decided to do a 3x1 rib, just for a change. I always do something a little bit different. And I've used Jenny's super stretchy cast off for these ones because I've also been caught out with binding off too tightly before. So if anything, these are probably going to be too loose all over, but that's better than them being too tight. So they're off the needles, and I'm very glad. I haven't worn them yet. I've blocked them, well, ish, because they're a bit loose on my blockers. But I'm looking forward to wearing those this week. So that is a finished object, and I finished them just probably a week ago, so not that long ago. Another finished object, what else shall I show you? I was working on some secret knitting for a friend's birthday, which actually is today, so happy birthday Natalie. And I finished the item just the day before I finished the socks, I think. So I filmed a little bit to show you what I made, so I'm going to pop that in here and show you what I made for Natalie's birthday. I just literally cast off this project last night, and I'm gifting it tomorrow, so talk a bit last minute, but I'm having to film this little bit of video before I gift them. I couldn't have shown you any sooner works in progress because obviously the person might have seen them, but I won't put this podcast out until she's opened them, so it'll be safe for me to film this now. A while back, probably last year, definitely last year after the autumn when it got a bit chilly, I decided that I needed to make some fingerless gloves, so I made these for myself. And this is a free pattern on Ravelry called Good Time Mitts, and the yarn is DK, and I dyed it myself a little while ago. Totally forgot I had it, and then went to look for some wool to use for these and realised that I had this and it would be perfect. So I wear these all the time. It's kind of not the weather for gloves, but it's still a bit chilly, so these are perfect, and they're great for when you go out in the car in the mornings and it's cold and stuff. So anyway, I thought I'd make my friend a pair for her birthday. She really likes going out for walks every day, and I think that she would appreciate them and she will get wear from them. So I chose some wool that I had and I made her a pair, and this is the pair that I have made for my friend, and it's a little bit sparkly and it's kind of that peachy pink, gorgeous colour. Same pattern again, except I don't know if you noticed on mine, the cuff here is a 1x1 rib, and it should have been a 2x2, but I read the pattern wrong, I didn't read it properly at all. So not that it makes any difference. So this 2x2 at the top and the bottom, and then mine were a 1x1 and 2x2 at the fingers. So these ones are being gifted to my friend this week, and the weather's still pretty cool, so she will hopefully get a little bit of use out of them this year. If not, she can keep a hold of them till autumn. Another thing that I've made from a friend is one of the candles, another candle. I had a go at making some more candles a couple of weeks ago, so I found this little pot in a charity shop and I thought it was really quite pretty. I'm sat in front of the window here, so it's a little bit, the light's going a bit funny, so it's just all flowery and it's a kind of weird shape, but I thought that would be quite nice. So she's going to have a little candle, and I also made her a bookmark. I've been really enjoying doing the scrappy patchwork lately, so I pieced together some patchwork and I've stamped Natalie's bookmark on it. So she's got a little bookmark, she's plain on the back, and then a little sort of crocheted lace ribbony bit at the top there. So she's going to have a few handmade gifts in her in her gift bag tomorrow. So I just wanted to show you those before it was too late, because I very nearly forgot to do it today as well actually, so I'm glad I remembered. Another thing that I made this past month, we went to an open day at a place in Dundee, which is it's called DCA, Dundee Contemporary Arts, and they do workshops and they have exhibitions and there's a theatre there. So they were running some free drop-in sessions to try out different crafts, so we went up to that, and I was quite keen to try the screen printing, so they let you try screen printing on a canvas bag. So this is one that I did and it's came out really well. See, think, make, do, which I think is very, very appropriate for any maker. And we just got to really have a go at pulling the thing down through the ink and doing it on there. It was a very quick process. I do have a tiny bit of footage, so if that looks okay then I will insert that here so you can see me making my bag really quickly. I have another finished object to show you as well, but again I managed to film the process of me making it, which I thought you would enjoy seeing. I certainly enjoyed making it, really enjoyed it, so I'm going to pop that video in here. This was a few weeks ago, yeah, I'll show you after the video what the finished result was. Good morning, it's a Saturday morning and I've come up to the sewing room just to potter about really. I've dug out my scrap bucket. This sits under my desk and all my scraps go up here, and sometimes what I do is package them up and sell them in my shop, or like I'm doing today, I'm going to try and use some of them. So I'm pulling out loads of pretty scraps, and what I've been doing is just cutting them up, really straightening up the edges really, and making them into squares, rectangles. And I'm going to try a little bit of patchwork later on. I love patchwork, but it takes so long to do that I don't really get a chance to do it sort of on a day-to-day basis. So I'm just going to have a play today and enjoy it. My throat was really tickly still from having been ill, so I'll try not to talk too much. So these fabrics are, the good thing about all my fabrics is they all match, so whenever I pull out a load of scraps they just all go together without even trying, so that's brilliant. So when I want to do something scrappy it always looks great without too much thought going into it, because everything goes. So what I'm going to do is get a big piece of wadding and just do what's called quilt-as-you-go, and I'll show you a bit of that as I do it. But for now I've got lots of scraps to just neaten up. I'm just going to do a little bit more and then I'm going to begin, because I'm dying to get started. all nice and flat. And I've just laid them out just kind of roughly by size because I'm just going to sew them all together. I haven't got a plan, it's going to be totally random. I think this style of quilting is just called improv because you just make it up as you go, which suits me absolutely fine because I'm not one to make big plans. I just like to make it up and see how it goes as I go. So I'm going to get a big piece of wadding and I'm just going to start sewing. This piece of patchwork is probably going to end up as a project bag, so I think that would show it off nicely. So I've just cut 2 big bits of wadding in a sort of project bag size, and all I'm going to do is start off with the kind of smaller pieces. I actually should start off with 2 pieces. I do have another small piece, so what I'm going to do is just take another piece and just cut it so it's the same size here, so that I've got a little square to kind of play with. So I'm going to put that one down and just sew these both on. I've got them facing each other. This method of quilting is called Quilt-as-you-go. So you just sew your first pieces on, and then if you can see that, you just fold it open. Now normally when you quilt you would iron each piece as you do it, but with this you don't have to, which is great because the ironing bit takes up so much time. So I'm going to quilt that bit now, which just means where you put your seams here, you're going to fold it over and you're just going to sew on top of that, and it just strengthens your seams. If you were making a patchwork quilt, it would make it really strong, and it also makes it look really nice. So I'm just going to use a longer stitch length for that because you want to see a bit of the detail of the stitches. I'm just going to do it about 1/4 of an inch away from the seam. Straight line. I'm having real trouble with my foot on my machine. It won't stay down, it's driving me mad. So here's what we've got, you've just sewn it down. So we're just going to add to that. You can cut these bits off if you want, but they'll be hidden behind the rest of the fabric, so it's up to you whether you do that or not. So next I'm going to put a bit of fabric going the opposite direction. Again, I haven't really got a piece that small, so I'm just going to grab a piece and cut it to the right length so it covers from here to here. And again, just face down. The only thing this is, you do have to keep adjusting your stitch length to get it back to short for doing this part and then longer for doing the quilting part, but it's still way quicker than traditional patchwork where you would be up and down, where you should be ironing after every step. There, we just got another one sewn on, so I'm just gonna again go over the top of down the top of the seam there and stitch my quilting line. And there's the next bit added. So I'm just gonna keep going. If you keep going around and put the next bit here and then your next bit here and here, that style is called patchwork. No, it's called log cabin style quilting. I'm just going to go with whatever I've got the right sizes for. I have got a lot of pieces this size, so at some point I'm probably just going to break the rules and start layering them up somewhere, because I don't want to have to cut every bit to the right size, because otherwise I'll end up wasting a lot, and the whole point is that I'm going to try and use up the scraps, not waste more. I'm now just at the stage where I'm ready to add the last strip along the top here, and then I'll have a nice big square. I've just had to cut some more fabric into some longer pieces because I didn't have enough pieces that were long enough, because I hadn't really thought about how big the bit was going to get. So I had a few bits in my scrap bin, and I've also got some odds and ends in my cupboard with my fabric, so I just had a look to see if there was any long pieces needing used up. I found a couple of bits, so I've cut some long ones and I've cut some extra ones because once I finish this I need to do the other panel. So that's this piece finished, and it's quite big, so it's going to make a really beautiful project bag. So now I'm going to just do the same again for the other panel. That was really good fun, really enjoyed doing that. It's beautiful, I love this type of patchwork, but I don't get the chance to do it very often because it does take up quite a lot of time. But it really is worth it if you've got time, and if you've got loads of scraps you want to use, then it's a great way of using them up. Well, it's now Sunday and I've spent so much time sewing this weekend that I have finished my first panel, which I love, absolutely beautiful, and I've made another. And you'll notice that wasn't the one that I started off yesterday. I showed you this one that I was starting, so I finished that as well. And I've made another one to go with that. So I've now got enough panels to do 2 project bags. These look gorgeous. I've just squared off my edges and neatened them up and I've made sure that these 2 panels are the same size, because I'm going to start off by making these into a zippy project bag, probably for myself. I just hope that I like it, because you'll have seen in my last video that I made a project bag and then just kind of felt like it wasn't really for me, so that got sold, that went in my shop. Had some little scraps out that I also decided to continue making something really teeny, and just made this little patchworky bit. And I've also quilted straight lines over the whole thing. It's got a pen line down it somewhere, you might see, I can't see now there. I just drew one straight line with a pen and a ruler so I can get my straight lines started. This will come off with the iron, it's a special type of pen. These are called friction pens. This is what they look like. They're brilliant if you sew, because you can write on your fabric and you just remove it with the iron. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I need to now choose a zip for my project bag and choose a lining, which for me is always the hardest job for me, choosing fabrics and zips and things, and to the point where it takes me so long I end up not making myself anything because I just can't decide. So hopefully I'll find something that I like to go with these for my lining, and my bag should come together really quickly now, because it's already got the wadding on it as well, so I just literally need the lining and the zip and to sew it up. So I'm going to crack on with that just now, and if I get that one finished then I can do the other one as well. finished my panels. I chose my two favourite ones because I knew that I wanted to have a project bag made with all these lovely little scraps. I love seeing all my old scraps because it reminds me of fabrics that actually I don't have anymore, and I probably won't ever get in again, because a lot of things that I get are just a one-off purchase and I don't tend to stock the same fabrics all the time. And I wish I had kept scraps of more fabrics, because there's fabrics from the past that I don't have any scraps of, and sometimes I'll see a photo of something and remember how pretty they were. Anyway, so I made the two of the panels into a really nice project bag. Here it is. This is pretty big. It's a little bit bigger than I had planned to make it, but the panels were so big so I didn't want to waste too much of the panels. There's more on the back. Love these fabrics. They're so pretty and pink and flowery, and I just absolutely love them. And I've used a nice dusky pink zip on that one and a really nice lining in that one. That was one of my new fabrics recently, of which there is not much left of now, probably just scraps. And this is really, really huge. I've got a notebook in here because I keep notes from all my socks. I've got my pouch in here as well, one of my own storage pouch, and my latest whip is in here as well, so I'll show you that shortly. So that bag turned out pretty big, and I had actually trimmed it down a little because I didn't want it to be far too big. So with the other panels, because I had 4 altogether, so I had another 2 left, I kept them the size that they were and I made them into another project bag, which is really, really big. Very, very pretty again. Same sort of fabrics. I just felt it had a slightly different feel to it. Hope you can see that with the sun being there. Again, I used the dusky pink zip on that one, and I've lined it with one of my favourite fabrics. It's Lewis and Irene. Really, really like those colours. So this is huge. I managed to fit 6 skeins in there, and then there was still room for a project, so that is probably going to be good for things like jumpers or whatever else you would knit with lots of skeins of wool. I'm keeping the other one. This is going to go in my Etsy shop. I'm kind of struggling with putting things like this in my shop because it took me a long time, and of course the price is going to have to reflect that, which kind of scares me a bit, because as a maker you think if stuff's too expensive people just won't buy it. But I see other people selling project bags at much higher prices than I do, and they still sell, so I'm going to pop this in and I'll see if it sells. I am planning an Etsy shop update tonight. Today's Friday, the 29th of March. I'm not sure whether I'll get this video out today or tomorrow, but there will be an Etsy shop update tonight. I have a few things. Actually, I could show you just now some of the things that are going in the shop because they are finished objects technically. I had planned to have a really huge shop update over the next few weeks, or now, but I've just been so busy that I got as far as making a load of bags and nothing else. So I did want to make some what they're called, storage pouches and some DPN pouches, because I have sold out of those, but I haven't got around to it yet, so they'll be next week's job to make some of those. So I just concentrated on loads and loads of bags, and I did indeed make loads and loads of bags. So these are all going in my shop. I might just show you a couple just to let you see. This was just the last of this lovely sage green hair fabric. It's too small for one of my other project bags, so I always use end pieces up just to make a zippy bag. It's lined with a lovely dusky pink, and that is a lovely size. I've got lots of small bags, drawstrings. I got some new llama fabric, llama and cactuses, which I don't know why that appealed to me, but I thought that was pretty cute. So I've got quite a few of those. I've got some small ones, and I have some big ones made with that one as well. And I got this peachy pinky, favourite colour. Love it so much. And it's the same colour as the background to the llamas. And there's a lovely peachy gingham. Love ginghams, and I managed to find a really nice quality gingham as well. So there are lots of bags, big and small. Another beautiful fabric I got, love that pinky one. I got asked recently to make a bag with some Peter Rabbit fabric, so I did that and I had some left. I've got quite a bit left actually, so thought I'd make another bag for my shop. I think someone's doing or there are a few Peter Rabbit type sock patterns or yarn clubs, so I don't know if that appeals to anyone for those. Again, I've got more of that lovely floral and a couple more. I hope this isn't boring you showing you all these. And then another one of these lovely, this fabric here is so nice, such a nice springtimey fabric. So they taken all the photos, I've edited all the photos, and this afternoon I just need to upload to Etsy, so they should be live tonight hopefully. And I think that's it for finished objects. So what I thought I might share with you as well actually, I did some cooking this week and I made an old favourite for dinner and totally forgot how much we loved it. So I'm going to pop in some footage of me making it and a very brief recipe. So I hope you enjoy it. It is a bit of a winter warmer actually. It's total comfort food. But the weather's sunny, but it's still been chilly, so I think it still works. So I'll pop that in here and you can let me know if you try it. I thought I would share an old favourite recipe with you. This is a proper comfort food recipe, perfect for a cold night, and it's really good in the winter. We've not had it for ages, but Joshua's out tonight and he doesn't like it, so we're having it tonight. This is called spicy frankfurter and bean hot pot. So I've got in here really sophisticated ingredients. We've got potatoes, onions and frankfurters all chopped up, and I'm just frying them in a little bit of vegetable oil. The only frankfurters that I eat are these ones. These are the only ones I like. I don't like any others, but I like these ones. This is a recipe that I tore out of a magazine when I was a teenager, so it would have been one of my mum's magazines, so it would be something like, I don't know, Women's Weekly or something like that. And that's how long I've been making this recipe. So I've fried them for about 10 minutes. I'm going to add in half a pint of beef stock and also half a Mexican stock cube. I think Oxo do those. The recipe did say one Mexican stock cube, but they're so spicy that we've gone down to half. So add that in, and then I'm just going to cover that up for, well, 20 minutes or so till the potatoes are cooked. I might add a little bit more water in there actually. And then once that's cooked, we're going to add another ingredient, which again is so sophisticated. I'm sure you all have it in your cupboards. And I know this looks like the weirdest, most disgusting recipe ever at this stage probably, but if you try it, I think you'll agree that it's so nice. And when we come back and see this all cooked with the next ingredient in it, I hope you will also agree that it looks pretty tasty. So I'm going to let that simmer for a bit with the lid on, and we'll come back once the potatoes are done. Ingredient, and it is a tin of baked beans. So I'm going to shove them in. The potatoes are still need another couple of minutes, but I think it's nice to get your ingredients in for as long as possible together so they can all cook and taste nice. Just going to leave that to simmer for another 10 minutes or so and then come back to it. now all nice and thick and looking delicious. So there we go, that's done now, and that would go lovely with some crusty bread, which I'm wishing I'd thought of sooner, but that'll do for now. And I've got another portion to put in the freezer, so I look forward to that another night. If you would like the recipe in a bit more detail, just let me know and I'll be happy to send it to you. Okay, moving on to works in progress, or should that just be work in progress because I only have one. I showed you after Christmas I got some wool from Wild Rose yarn, so I've skeined that up, caked it up. So these are in my new patchwork project bag. Last night I cast on the toes, the bag's gonna fall over, cast on the toes, so I've just got two little toes. This yellow wool is, it's too sunny. The yellow wool is one I dyed myself a couple of years ago, and the inspiration was, can you guess? Daffodils. There's tiny flecks of green in there, a little bit of orange. I really like that one. I've made a full pair of socks out of this and they're really lovely. So I thought that would go lovely for the toes. Here's the main yarn again. This just totally reminds me of crocuses and purple hyacinths and things. So that's going to be really nice knitted up. So I've done the toes, and I haven't yet decided what pattern to use for the legs. So I'm going to have a look on Ravelry. I like plain sort of patterns, easy patterns, something like Hermione's everyday sock. I've done that quite a few times. I don't think I'll do that for these ones, but I don't know. When I made my other pair with this, I did the Sugar Frost sock pattern, which actually is the same as Hermione, but if you imagine Hermione's like staggered, the Sugar Frost is more on top of each other, like the detail. So it's the same, like whatever it was, knit whatever, purl whatever, it's the same but just in a different place on the row. I'm not explaining that very well. But I may do that, I don't know, because I need something that's really simple in terms of doing it two at a time as well, because if I do anything too complex two at a time, it will probably feel like it's taking me forever to do it, and I don't really want to do that because I like to kind of do stuff quite quick and get quick results. So that wool was from Wild Rose Yarn on Etsy, and she's also on Instagram. I'm not sure what the colourway was called. I had that one on a Christmas list and I was lucky enough that I got it for Christmas, so that was nice. So that is my only whip really. I probably will keep it that way because I just like to have one thing on the go at a time really, although I have had a few new yarns coming in over the past month, so as you know they'll be calling me, so we'll see. I would like to get that, I showed you some rainbow wool in one of my other podcasts, and I mentioned that I would like to do socks with that, but with a stripe, a row, like alternate rows of this and then a cream. And I was thinking if I do that, I'm going to have to do them one at a time, because with two at a time you would have 2 balls of wool attached anyway, but if I'm going to use the cream as well, then I'll have 4 balls of wool attached all the time, so that's just going to be a recipe for a huge big tangle. So I'm going to have to do them one at a time, so may think about casting them on at some time, maybe, I don't know, I'm not committing to saying I'm definitely doing stuff, maybe, we'll see. So that was whips. I honestly thought that the section showing you new things coming in was going to be really rubbish every month, because I'm not a big spender on, I buy a lot of fabric, but I could justify that because it's for the business, so I don't buy a lot of wool or anything like that. However, once again, I have actually got quite a lot to show you. Some of it I got for my birthday, so that was great, and there was also a few other nice surprises that I got this month. So I'll start off by showing you what I did by myself. I decided to get one of these sock rulers. I had thought about getting one before and then wasn't sure if I would use it, and then decided I would use it. First things first, I bought this on Etsy from My Mama Knits, is the name of the shop, and she's also on Instagram called sunshine_Stuart. But there are a lot of different sellers of these actually. They must all be made from like a wholesaler and different people buy them in. I just attached one of my own little key rings to that. I sell these in my Etsy shop. So it would sock. So the reason I decided that I would get one of these is because when I looked to get them before, I was going through a phase of doing cuff down socks, and I couldn't understand why this would be useful, because I don't need to measure the leg of a sock. I know how long I want the leg of my sock to be, so I decided not to buy it. But when I did my Advent socks at Christmas and I started to do 2 at a time socks, I was out one day and I got to, if I just get a sock just so I can make this a bit clearer, I was knitting up here and I thought, oh, I don't know when to stop to start my heel. And normally at home, obviously, I would just try the sock on, but I was out in public and I couldn't try the sock on very easily. So I had to stop knitting for the day and lost out on a good couple of hours of knitting time, really. But if I'd have had this, I could have inserted it into the sock and read the measurement of when to start my heel. Because obviously it's easy enough to get your overall foot measurement to start with. And if what I have been trying to do is write that in the front of all my notebooks that are in my project bags, so that if I am ever out and about, I know how long my foot is. And then most patterns, well, all patterns will tell you to start your heel maybe, I think mine's is 8.5. So they would say start the heel 2.5 inches before the end of your foot. So you'd start it back at, what am I doing, 6 or something. So you'd knit up to 6 and then you'd start your, whether it's a gusset for a heel flap or your fish slips, kiss heel or something like that. So I think that's going to be really handy for days like that when I'm not able to try the socks on easily, or even when I'm at home and I just can't be bothered to go through the whole kerfuffle of taking my socks off and trying these on, because sometimes you try them on quite a few times and then you knit a few rows and you have to try them on again. So yeah, hopefully that will be quite helpful. You can use it for other things like measuring the length of the leg and stuff, but I mean, I think it's kind of obvious how long you want your leg to be. Oh, another thing that I bought myself, I have a lot of stitch markers, but I don't really have anything really kind of special, and a lot of the things that I use, like project bags and stitch markers and stuff, are all stuff that I've made myself. Sometimes it's just nice to have a little treat that someone else has made, or that you've bought, or that you've sort of chosen yourself. So I contacted Ava, who is Coco and Flora. This is the packaging, isn't that pretty? She's on Instagram and she also has an Etsy shop, and she also has a podcast which I've just recently discovered. So she had some really beautiful stitch markers in her shop, but I wanted a set that had a bit more in it, so I asked her if she'd make me up a set with how many did I get? 6? Yeah, 6. And I just asked for some lovely pinks and pastel-y type things, and I don't know whether this is going to show up very well here at all, but I'll try. I don't know how clear that is, but that one, that little heart is so sweet. I don't know if you see. I'll maybe insert a photo as well just so you get a clearer picture. Then there's some flowers and lovely pearly beads and little like raindrop type gems. So they are so pretty. And I haven't used them yet because I've kept all my stuff aside for podcasting so that I wouldn't forget anything. So I'm looking forward to using them, and I can use them with my new socks now. And Ava also sent me a little extra. It's one of these ones that just makes me think of a crystal ball. That's not even focusing, come on. That's not going to focus. How do people make this look so easy? You go like that. So it's got little stars in it. So they are so pretty. And they came in a little tub, which is really handy. So thank you, Ava. I love them, they're so pretty, and that was really exciting to get something made for me. Right, so they are things that I bought. There's still more stuff to show you. I managed to acquire it all somehow. When you're a crafter and you've got crafty friends and acquaintances, one of the best things you can do is to arrange a swap. They make things you don't, vice versa, and sometimes you feel a bit cheeky saying to someone, oh, I saw something on your feed, do you fancy a swap? But most of the time people say yeah, because luckily they want something that I make too, so that worked out really well. So I saw some yarn on my Instagram feed and kept sort of coming back to it thinking, oh, I really like that, I really like that. So I contacted Tracy of Nora Jones and very cheekily asked her would she like a swap, and very luckily she said yes. So I got a skein of this yarn, which is called Pink Grapefruit, and it's that pink, peachy pink that I just love. And there's some speckles, I love speckles as well. And I mean, that just makes me think of like fruit salad sweets. I could just taste them, or like ice cream and stuff. So yeah, I finally got myself some of that, which was really, really good of Tracy, and I sent Tracy a project bag. She chose a bag. Tracy also sent one of her pins. So many project bags in here, I can't actually find the right one. So I have, believe it or not, this is my first knitting pin. So I've put that on my bag, although actually I was also thinking I could put it on my storage pouch, or it could go on here, which would be quite nice as well, because then I get that out quite a lot for different projects. I'm doing different things, so then I'd see it quite a lot. So that was really nice. So thank you, Tracy. That was great to do a swap. And so I acquired some wool. Brilliant. Very happy. That has been a great prop for a lot of my photos as well, because it goes so nicely with some of the fabrics, especially this one. I realised it was just a perfect match. It looks so pretty. And then that one as well. So it's been, you'll see that in my if you see my Etsy shop update, you'll see the yarn quite a lot, because it goes with almost all of the fabrics that I've got there. Okay, what else have I got? I've got lots to show you, and I don't know what to show you first, so where will we go? Oh, I got contacted by a lady on Instagram who I do follow, and I had been looking at a lot of the items on her feed, and I'd commented as well saying that how nice they were. There are a lot of things that are really nice, but you would kind of not buy them for yourself. You'd maybe hint at someone else getting you them or something. So when she contacted me and said, I'd like to send you something, is that okay? It was my birthday the next day, and I thought, yeah, why not? So I was really pleased to be able to choose an item from, well, not an item from her shop, she said I could have this, but she hand stamps cutlery, and I love hand stamped cutlery. So I asked her to stamp this for me. I don't know if you could read it. Oh, again, I'm not going to get this to focus very well. It's a very pretty little teaspoon, and it says time for tea. And if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen, oh, now I've got a spoon for a face, that I always think it's a great idea. I just can't get that to photograph. I'll insert a picture. I always think that it's really nice to make yourself just feel special and to relax. Set up a tea tray, make a tiny pot of tea, get your favourite cup and go and sit down and enjoy it. It makes all the difference. So having things like this that are really pretty and your favourite little plate or something with some tasty snacks on it is actually such a big sort of like act of self-care and self-love, and I just think that to do something like that always feels so much nicer than a rushed cup of tea with a tea bag dunked in a cup quickly and stuff. So that, I felt, totally fits in with me. Oh, I did say it was my birthday, did I? Did I say it was my birthday? It was my birthday in the middle of March, and I very, very luckily received lots of lovely crafty gifts, and I have some crafty friends who know me very well and gave me some really nice gifts, so I felt very, very lucky. my friend Natalie, whose birthday is today, she gave me some really sweet gifts, and she crochets as well, and she was working away on this, and she showed little sneaky pics on her Instagram feed. Obviously I didn't realise what she was making, but she made a cute little mouse. How cute is that? It's got a little tail. And it's the sweetest thing ever, and it's got the sweetest little face. And she's been making lots of these with different fabrics in the ears, so that is so sweet. And I like having things seasonal out, so that's perfect for springtime, I think. Little springtime mouse. What else have I got to show you? I also got a lovely gift from my friend Cherie, who you might know as Ollie and Bella. She's podcasting. She was on Instagram, but she's having a little break, so don't worry, you can still catch up with her on her YouTube videos. So Cherie sent me what I realised was my very first project bag made by someone else, because I think I said earlier that all my project bags were made by me. So I now have one made by someone else, and it's got one of her little tags on it there, and it's such sweet ditzy floral, which is my favourite. So this is, it's not lined, but it's interfaced, so it's quite sturdy. It will definitely stand up. And I've been keeping this aside so that I didn't forget to show you. So I haven't used it yet, but I might use it for my new socks actually. There's a lovely little bag of lavender in there, and there's a little note saying it was from our grand's garden, which I thought was really, really sweet. I do make lavender bags quite a lot, so I don't know whether to make that into a lavender bag or just even leave it as it is and just keep it in project bags, because then your projects smell lovely. And Cherie also sent me this sweetest little thing, and this was actually inspired by our friend and our favourite Gaina, who is Cuckoo, Tales from Cuckoo Land, I think. So this is a little rubber ducky, but it's a stitch marker, and Cherie told me a story that Gaina had said on one of her podcasts about how rubber duckies might get pushed under the water, but they'll never stay under for long. They'll always bounce back up, and that's kind of a bit of a metaphor for life, isn't it? Be a rubber ducky. And that is so cute. It just makes me smile so much. The sweetest little thing. And Cherie made that herself. Not the duck, but she made the stitch marker. So that is so sweet. And I love the story behind it as well. So thank you, Cherie. Absolutely love all my gifts that you sent me. What else did I get? Oh, my brother used my Amazon wishlist suggestions, and he got me some wool. So again, that's like really spring, summery feel to it. So I've got loads of things right now that are kind of tempting me to cast on more and more. I'm going to try not to have too much cast on though. That's a West Yorkshire spinner's wool. I can't remember what that one's called. What else did I get? From my mum, I got one of these, an embroidery punch needle, which is weird because I've just been looking at videos of these on Instagram. There are a few people making things with these right now, so I was really looking forward to giving that a try. I haven't had the time yet. Time is just, I just do not have any time at the minute. If you've never seen one of these in action, if you just look on the tag section on Instagram for punch needle, is that what it's called? Needle punch. Look up needle punch. You find some really, really inspiring videos and feeds that use these, and you can use it for small projects or big projects or whatever. So I quite fancy giving that a try to make a little something. Just make a little image and then just turn it into a hanging thing or something. So that was really weird to get that after I'd just been looking at videos on Instagram. If you don't use Instagram, obviously you can look it up on just Google needle punch videos or tutorials or something. So that's going to be fun. Oh, excuse me, I'm yawning. Another gift that I got, which I actually kind of, I told my son that I saw this in the shop and I said that would be quite good to get me for my birthday if he needed ideas. I just got a really nice A4 ring binder, because what I want to do is to keep my kind of knitting patterns a bit better, because at the minute I get a pattern, it gets scrunched up in the bottom of a bag and then it looks like this. And this is for the mitts that I made, the Good Time mitts, and because I've made them before, they've got my notes on them, which is fine, it means if ever I make them again, I know what, you know, I know how many rows I did for certain bits and stuff, so it's quite handy. But I mean, it saves me printing out again if I want to make it again, so it'd be good to keep patterns that I know I'm going to use time and time again. So I just need somewhere to keep my patterns, and I thought this folder, again, that pink and metallic, you know, what's not to like, so that is perfect. And I think that that is all for incoming stuff, actually. I've just remembered that there was something else that I received this month that I forgot to show you. If you remember from a couple of episodes ago, I spoke about some yarn minis that I bought so that I could make myself an advent calendar at Christmas. Well, that pack only had 20 in it, and I met with my friend Louisa at the weekend. She actually lives in Southampton and I live in Fife, and she was up visiting for the Edinburgh Yarn Festival last weekend. So she had some time free in Edinburgh, so I went over to meet her, and she very kindly gave me these 2 minis to add to my advent calendar. So that was so sweet and so thoughtful, so thank you, Louisa. I'm not going to have a peek. She said I can open them now or I could keep them for my advent, which actually I thought was a brilliant idea, so I thought I'm going to keep them for my yarn advent. So that's really exciting. I first met Louisa on a yarn retreat, actually. I was down in Lyme Regis 2 years ago, and we met there on the yarn retreat, so that was really nice, and really quite nice that we were able to meet up again, because it's not often that you get to meet up with people from different parts of the country very easily, so that was cool. So I just popped this little bit of video in here because I forgot earlier, because I put them in the bag with the minis, which is tucked away in my wardrobe so that I don't peek. Not that I would peek. So yeah, very lucky this month. There's a lot incoming, which is all providing so much inspiration as well, which is good. So what else can I talk to you about? I did want to mention, I want to talk about any new podcasts I've discovered, or you know, anything that I just wanted you to have a look at. And I don't know if you have been watching Gaina, who I mentioned earlier, Tales from Cuckoo Land. She really enjoyed watching Vlogmas videos, but she just didn't have the time at Christmas to take part. So she had the idea to do it this month, so she's called it Marchmas, and she's vlogged every day in March. And it's just been brilliant to watch. She can't understand why people find it so entertaining, but I don't know, I think we're all just nosy and we like to see in other people's lives, and it's definitely just a glimpse of day-to-day life, someone else's day-to-day life. And obviously it helps. She has a beautiful house and lots of handmade beautiful things in it, and she's inspired so many of us. I've seen people on Instagram doing so many things that she's been doing, like using their bread machine. What else has she been doing? She's been showing off her own cleaning hacks, but they're all eco-friendly. Gaina's very much into reducing plastic and helping the environment, so she's been given lots of great tips about how to reduce your plastic use, how to reduce food waste, how to make excellent Yorkshire puddings, how to make biscuits that you will probably just eat all in one setting. I've so far resisted making them because they sound very dangerous. I've got a couple of days to catch up on now, but it's getting to the end of March, so if I keep watching the videos, they're going to run out and there'll be no more. So do I watch them and enjoy them? Do I save them and pace myself? What do I do? Luckily Gaina does podcasts at other times throughout the year, so don't leave it too long, Gaina, for us, because there will be withdrawal symptoms, okay? I'll put a link down underneath the video as well to Gaina's channel. I think that's it for now. I have been enjoying the springtime weather and the sunshine. We've been so lucky with the sunshine, so I'm going to insert bits of footage throughout the video as well, just the happy garden and stuff. And I've been back to my volunteering a couple of times as well, so I've got a tiny bit of footage there which I'll pop in somewhere. podcasting, vlogging, I don't know what to call it. Hopefully I will be able to upload another video again soon. I would like to do one every month if I can, because I think that'll be quite nice to look back on and just sort of mark the seasons and the months and things throughout the year. Be nice to look back on. What have we got coming up? We've got another week of school and then 2 weeks of school holiday. So my sewing time will be very greatly reduced. That's kind of why I wanted to get my shop built up as well. So I'll hopefully get a bit of sewing done this week, and then I'll be able to enjoy a rest in the Easter holidays, because goodness knows I need it. Looking forward to no after school clubs and none of all that running about. Hopefully we'll get nice weather and I'll spend some time with my family, and there'll be an Easter egg hunt sometime at Easter, well, on Easter Sunday I guess. So anyway, I think I'm waffling now, I've got nothing else to talk about. So I hope you've enjoyed my video, and I forgot to say welcome to anyone new and welcome back to anyone who's been here before. So hopefully you'll join me again, and subscribe if you liked listening to my waffle. Okay, I'm going to go now. I think it's nearly lunchtime and I think I'm getting to the point where I need food. I made a loaf of bread yesterday in the bread machine, so I'm going to have that for my lunch, and I'm going to have it with smashed, that sounds so harsh doesn't it, smashed avocado and roasted garlicky tomatoes. Sounds good. Nobody eats smashed banana on toast. Do you have mashed banana on toast? Why is it smashed avocado? Anyway, okay, I'm going to go now, so thanks for joining me and goodbye.